In one old, but very kind house, there lived a cat named Pluma. She was striped, with white paws and such a serious gaze, as if every night she reread an invisible library of dreams. But this was not her most remarkable trait. Pluma ran along the ceiling. Not because she did not know where the floor was, but because she liked the ceiling more. There were shadows from the chandelier, soft cracks of time, and echoes of footsteps where one could hide a purr. She walked upside down, as if along a smooth road, sometimes stopping to let her tail hang down, watching dust spin in a beam of sunlight. One evening, when the fireplace crackled in a particularly thoughtful way, a salamander slipped out of the fire. She was fiery orange, patterned like tongues of flame, with eyes that reflected sparks. Her name was Flira. She did not simply live in the fireplace, she could fly. Not like a bird, but like a spark that decided to linger in the air a little longer than usual. "You walk where you're not supposed to," said Flira, rising from the hearth and hovering in the air. "And you live where it's not wet," replied Pluma from the ceiling. That was how they became friends. From then on, every evening they went in search of treats. The house was large and generous with discoveries. Forgotten nuts hid in the sideboard, sweet grains turned up in the cereal drawer, and sometimes a rusk with a glorious past was found beneath the sofa. Pluma ran along the ceiling and walls, peering into the most inaccessible places, while Flira flew beside her, illuminating everything with a warm, fiery glow. When they had gathered enough treasures, they went to the fireplace. There, on thin wooden sticks, they roasted their finds. The nuts crackled, the rusks turned golden, and apple slices began to smell like a celebration. Pluma ate neatly, holding her prize with one paw, while Flira browned everything to perfect precision. Sometimes it began to rain outside the window. Then they took small umbrellas. Pluma's was striped, and Flira's was transparent, with droplets that glowed when she touched them. They went out into the garden, stepped through puddles, and listened as the rain told stories to the earth. In autumn, they gathered leaves. Yellow, red, copper-colored, with veins like maps of magical lands. At home, they spread them out on the floor and made outfits. Pluma wore a maple cloak, and Flira wore a dress of birch leaves, lightly smoking at the edges, though no one minded at all. They were true designers of the season. And one day, beneath an old rug in the pantry, Pluma felt a strange chill. She scratched the floor with her paw, Flira lit up the spot, and they began to dig. Very carefully, so as not to wake the house. And they found a treasure. An ancient chest filled with coins, glass beads, small clocks that still ticked, and letters full of forgotten hopes. It was the treasure of the former owners, waiting precisely for them. With the treasure, they renovated the entire house. New floors appeared, soft carpets, the windows grew brighter, and the fireplace became even cozier. The ceiling along which Pluma ran became smooth and warm, and the fireplace where Flira lived shone as if it were smiling. And now, if in the evening you hear a quiet purring above you and see a fiery spark rising from the hearth, know this. It is the cat who runs along the ceiling and the salamander who knows how to fly, having once again found something tasty and sharing it by the fire.